Today we are going to talk about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Yes, Shelly, you're right. We are going to be talking about him. And he was one of the most important leaders in the American Civil Rights Movement, which is all about bringing equality to different people from different backgrounds, especially African Americans. It all started in the first half of the 20th century when African American people weren't allowed to live normal lives. Oh, snap. They had to go to separate schools, and they had to sit at different lunch tables, and they had to wash their hands separately, and they had to wash their clothes separately, and they couldn't work with white people, and they had to live at different neighborhoods, which are far away from each other. Does that mean that they're separated? Yeah, they're separated. And this separation between African Americans and white people is called segregation. Segregation? Yeah, segregation. Okay. In the South, there were some laws known as Jim Crow laws. And African American people, they were always monitored continuously and constantly. And if anybody broke these laws, they were either put in jail, injured, or even put to death. During this time, King Jr. was born in 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia, and both his father and his grandfather were pastors in a church. What are pastors? They are like people who serve in the church. Oh! While he was growing up, he realized the difference between people. But when he went to Boston and Philly for his college, he realized that the people were friendly and they were treated equal in that place. This time, they're not separated. Yeah, they're not separated. They're equally treated and they're very friendly. Then, after he finished his college, he got married with a girl. Then, he and his wife moved to a place called Montgomery. There, while he was watching the news, he saw that a woman was arrested just because she did not give up her seat to a white man. And her name was Rosa Parks. Yeah, Rosa Parks. Then, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. took a stand and he started protesting with other people. After the Rosa Parks incident, many local people stopped riding the buses. And for this, the police cops arrested them and put them in jail. Oh no! Just because they were walking instead of using the bus. Simply. For Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., they bombed his house and put him in jail several times. Wow, that's a lot of times going to jail. Finally, in 1956, the Supreme Court banned segregation in buses. This was King's victory. Then, King followed Mahatma Gandhi's principles to do more protests in a non-violent way. Mahatma Gandhi? Well, Charlie, he is the father of India. Wow. And he fought independence for India. Oh my. For 10 years, King led many protests around the country, and slowly the whole world began to know his name. And the most biggest and famous protest of them all was the March on Washington, D.C. in 1963 on the Lincoln Memorial steps. There, he said his I Have a Dream speech, and it went like this. I have a dream that black boys and black girls will hold hands with white boys and white girls and be as brothers and sisters. Aww. That's such a nice speech. That's why I said I love his speech. His struggle and suffering were rewarded and laws started changing. King was given a Nobel Peace Prize in 1964, but he was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee. He was only 39 years old. In 1968, he was assassinated, and the assassin was caught and put in jail. But thanks to King Jr.'s efforts, America is now in a better place. And remember guys, It doesn't matter what color your skin is. You're all equal. Thank you so much for your time with us. Yeah. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. And for more such videos like this one, please like, share, and really please subscribe. And please, cheesy, subscribe, please. And also hit the notification bell. Yeah. You get like messages when we upload a video. Bye for now. Bye.
I have the pleasure to present to you Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. Five score years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream. My four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day, down in Alabama with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification. One day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, and every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, "My country, tears of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. And so let freedom ring. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom ring. From the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania, let freedom ring. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom ring. From the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring, and when it happens, when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, thank God